This is a public hearing that went down in Fairfield regarding this One Bay Area plan that we've talked about many times on KSFO, including on Whistleblower Wednesdays. It's a plan. It's backed by legislation. It's a plan to create more open space, more tightly packed multi-unit housing developments. It's going to change the zoning for residential and commercial planning throughout the Bay Area. There'll be fewer single-family homes, more condos and townhouses, more stack and pack housing, fewer cars, more mass transit, less farms, less ranches, and basically a world in which you're consumed with your carbon footprint. This is the plan for 2050 in the Bay Area and the state of California. It's all backed by legislation. So what you're about to hear here is a lady named Vicki Hall. She has been hired by the state. She's in a consulting firm. This consulting firm is working to move us into this brave new world. And she was getting fed up with public comments during this public hearing regarding the One Bay Area plan. And she states to the concerned citizens, this is not a time for negative comments. I guess she wants only positive comments. No complaining here, no negative commentary here. Instead, she says, we want written comments, and those written comments will be presented in the coming environmental impact report. In other words, they're not going to answer your questions. They don't really care about your questions. They don't care about your concerns. They're trying to make this look public and transparent. And here she is teeing off on the citizens of California, the taxpayers that are essentially footing her bill. Listen to this.
All of your comments will be addressed in the EIR, and we will determine which of those comments are relevant to CEQA and the EIR analysis. And I'd like to remind you, and I am talking right now, so please don't interrupt me while I'm talking. The comments should be focused on the scope of the EIR. The comments are not appropriate for personal attacks. They're not appropriate to talk about whether or not you like the plan. We welcome your comments on alternatives that you may have on the plan, because this hearing is on the scope of the EIR, and I would love to hear your comments on issues related to the EIR, and that's what I'm here for today.
Who is this woman?
Vicki Hall. She's with a consulting firm hired by the state to push this One Bay Area plan.
Wow, she is one arrogant. Well, you know what I'm going to say, but I won't.
She's one arrogant mother. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Just talk about chef. We'll get to some calls on this in just a moment. 808-56. We were just talking about the One Bay Area plan, and you have this this absolute idiot. My Skype is muted, by the way. Just is your Skype muted, Melanie?
Yes.
Yes, good. That's always nice to know.
Well, we have so many different sources of audio coming in.
There's just crazy things. But this One Bay Area plan, what did you say about, well, you can't repeat what you just said about this Vicki Hall from this consulting firm. I mean, this woman is so arrogant. All of these people pushing these plans from the California Air Resources Board, who you've had tussles with for over a decade, to the California EPA, to the California Department of Energy. These people are so doggone arrogant, and they believe that we're a bunch of peons and they can just run over us.
Could I add just one more?
In fact, we're floating the whole boat for these people.
I'd like to add just one more description to that. I think that we can all safely assume that they are also as dumb as a box of rocks. They are arrogant and stupid, and that's a deadly combination for any bureaucrat.
Okay, here's Mimi in Castro Valley on a Whistleblower Wednesday. Mimi, you have been going at it with these people for a long time as just a regular citizen who's really concerned about these regulations and these environmental policies. And, yes, we did invoke your name in the last hour because we like to out what's going on in these One Bay Area meetings.
Brian, I am so happy you're covering this. This is such an important topic. And I want to give context to that audio that you played. And actually is a video of it up on YouTube. And you should see the expression on this woman's face. She is really pissed at being challenged. And the context of it is that there are several hundred really intelligent, trained citizens who have gone to classes and who understand what's going on with this One Bay Area plan, and they're not rolling over. And so this was, I think, the fourth of 5 meetings. The last one is today on the EIR for One Bay Area. Only one of the meetings was in the evening at Oakland when the citizen taxpayers who are paying for all this stuff could show up. The rest of them have been during the day when, generally speaking, all the advocates show up. And so the people who are putting this on are expecting an easy ride. They're expecting that all of the drones are going to show up and say, hey, this is a great plan, let's do it. And instead they're getting pushback, and they really don't know how to handle it. There's a couple really key points that I want to make here. You were talking in the first hour about money and the state going broke. This plan is similar to 17 other plans all around California. And not only are we going to be paying money for transportation that nobody happens to use because they want to put all the money into buses and trams and all that other kind of stuff.
High-speed rail, all of these boondoggles. And again, this is the vision for 2050, literally. No more cars except for perhaps plug-ins. That's the vision they have for 2050.
That's exactly right. But the implications for that are astounding because once they put this into play, all of these cities in the Bay Area and all around the state that have these similar plans, they're going to get an influx of low-income people into their town, and then they're going to have to find a way to pay for schools and fire and police protection, and none of that is put in the calculations. So you talk about going bankrupt. This is, we are paying for things we won't use, plus we're going to have to pay for the infrastructure to support this crap that we don't want. And people are justifiably pissed. I think that it's really the lady that you had on earlier, Shannon, that was a fantastic interview. And one of the challenges she said that she has, we're trying to figure out a way to stop this, either in court or politically. And one of the challenges she said that she has is that when she went to court, the court said, well, there's no harm. Nobody's been harmed.
Oh.
Well, the key is nobody's been harmed yet. And by the time
we are being harmed right now with the expenditure of millions of dollars in these studies for the EIRs, for the high-speed rails, we are directly being harmed. This is money that could go back into our cities to prevent bankruptcy.
And the other thing, Melanie, we're being harmed this way. We're being harmed through these incredibly high energy costs, which are only set to go higher.
Yes.
We're getting harmed by businesses that have so many regulations placed upon them through these various environmental policies, rules, laws, etc., that their profit margins are being squeezed or they're moving out of the state. So we are being harmed.
You guys aren't playing the game.
Oh, sorry. We forgot the rules.
You have to be one individual harmed where you can say, here is how this affected me with X dollars. And the problem is the way to really show harm legally is not going to happen until the harm has happened.
Until it's too late to fix it is what you mean.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's a major problem. I want to say one of the people who stood up and testified in that meeting was a scientist. He started talking about all the environmental models that haven't panned out. Brian, you would have loved his comments. And those people were just sitting there like a bump on a log, as I said.
They don't care. The facts, they're not moved by the facts. They don't care, but they'll make up their own facts.
But
that's what they do.
Here's the thing. You heard the utter contempt and disdain that Vicki Hall, who is the environmental consultant hired to run this meeting, held for all of the people who are paying her, the people who are going to be most directly affected by these heinous policies that they're trying to put into effect. And there are 100 Vicki Hills out there at the behest of the California EPA and the California Air Resources Board who are going to do us tremendous harm unless and until we wake up, people.
So if I could make one final comment, written comments are due by July 11th. And if you go to my website, bayarealiberty.org, there's a tab up there that gives you all of the details of where to send your comments. There's a bunch of comments that you might want to listen to and written out that you can use to craft your own letter or email to send into these people, they're not going to listen. But what we're trying to do is establish a record that we can later go back and say, hey,
Good.
people did object to this.
Good.
And
Good.
if there's anybody out there in the audience that's in the environmental area or the legal area that would like to help us, we would love your help. I've got an email address. It's sfinfo@proprights.org. They can email me and offer to help. And we really need, we've got several hundred citizens that have been following this. The more we have, the more we could use. And thank you for helping to publicize this.
Hey, Mamie, stay on the line. Stay on the line, though. I want to make sure we can get all this information that you just shared with us on our website. It's a handy place where people can go to figure out or to find out how they can comment and how they can email. One more thing quickly, please.
One more thing. When you write this up, use the words inadequate and incomplete. The EIR is inadequate and incomplete because apparently those are code words that we can later use to go back and challenge this legally.
Good. Thank you, Mamie. Really appreciate you here on KSFO. Melanie, that's the problem. I mean, these people, as she just said, it's almost not going to make a difference if we comment or not. However, we need to have these comments on the record because if legal action ever is taken, then we have an opportunity to say, see, we stated all these things.
Yes.
These were our concerns as citizens.
It's a two-edged sword because you know that it will make absolutely no difference to the bureaucrats who have already made up their mind what the policy is going to be in California, and it has nothing to do with what we, the people, want. It is what they think we, the people, need. But on the other hand, as you correctly point out, we need to have something for legal purposes down the road.
Okay, now on this Whistleblower Wednesday,